Hi guys, POE Noob here. It's time to reveal the deepest secret of this Crucible League and stop suffering from the failures and frustrations of the Crucible combines. I will in-depth explain my hypothesis on how the tree combination works and what are the odds based on my own collected data, and how I almost made money for Mageblood within just one day by purely making valuable Crucible trees. So short story, I did some card gambling and lost all my currency, and I start thinking about cracking the tree combination mechanism and make profit from it. Then I ran 30 to 40 random combines and collected the data and did some mathematical analysis. And surprisingly, I found some pattern there and have the number of the odds. And I made my hypothesis of the tree combination algorithm. Then I started making valuable trees such as sell for 3 divs plus the sell for double price nodes, and also making trees for totem build. Altogether, I made around 150 plus divines in just 6 to 8 hours. Okay, let's get into it. So first of all, this is a full tree, and I annotated the positions using this convention. So the first number is the layer, and the second number is the index in this layer. So we have layer from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and like for layer 3, it is 3, 1, 3, 2, and 3, 3. So I annotated all of them in this convention, which is pretty straightforward. And now some very basic knowledge about tree combining. First of all, we can only combine trees of the same weapon or shield type. For example, we can combine 2 one-handed swords. We can combine 2 shields, even if one is evasion based and the other is armor based. But we cannot combine a one-handed sword with an one-handed mace. One thing to note, we can combine a staff with a war staff. And then we combine tree A and tree B into tree C, and the item of tree A which we put at the upper side of the forge will be destroyed, and the item of the tree B at the lower side will be retained. And any node from tree A or tree B can disappear in tree C, stay in tree C, or altered in tree C. By altered, I mean mutated, upgraded, or downgraded, but the node position can never be changed. For example, let's say this is tree A, and this 3-1 node is attack speed node. Then in tree C, this attack speed node either will be selected by tree C at exactly the same 3-1 position, or it disappears, but it can never move to another position such as 4-2. Cool, now we finished the basics and we can go deeper into the combining mechanism. So first of all, disclaimer. This is just my hypothesis of the combining mechanism based on the data and my intuition from a software engineer. And second, the data is from my 30 to 40 combines, so it might not be 100% reliable. And third, I will provide raw data and statistics for your personal analysis. And fourth, I do not take any responsibility for any gamble loss. Cool, so let's start. So this is the overview of how the combining works. Basically, there are 3 steps. First step is node selection, which means that in tree C, for each position, it will roll the dice to decide if it should select the node from tree A or tree B, or it just be empty. And then after node is selected, we come to step 2, which is node modification, which means that the selected nodes will have a small chance to be mutated, upgraded, or downgraded. And after step 1 and 2, we will then add bridges to these selected nodes in tree C. And then we go to the details for each step. So first is node selection. So how it works, I wrote it in a pseudocode style. So how it works is that, so in tree C, from layer 1 to layer 5, For each node in the current layer, we will check if any connectable nodes in previous layer exists. So now I will explain what is the connectable nodes in previous layer. So if you look at this tree, so for this 4.3 node, the connectable node in the previous layer is 3.2 and 3.3, which can be directly connected to it. And also the connectable for 5.3 is 4.2 and 4.3. Yeah, so I think this is very straightforward. So each node will have one or two connectable nodes in its previous layer. Okay, we continue. So for each node, we check if any connectable node in previous layer exists in tree C. If no, we will leave it empty and skip, because if there is no connectable in the previous layer exists in tree C, it will never be connected by any means in tree C. So it will not be selected at all, which is obvious. But if yes, if it has connectables, and then we check if tree A and tree B has node in this position, and also if any node is allocated or not. And then we select the node from either tree A or tree B into this position in tree C. So that's how the node selection works. And then to the node modification. So after we selected nodes in tree C, it has a small chance to be first mutated into a totally new scale, or the tier upgraded, or the tier downgraded. And lastly, we add bridges to all selected nodes in tree C. So for each selected node, we check how many connectable nodes are in the previous layer. So if there is only one, then this node will always be connected to it. If there are two connectables in the previous layer, then we randomly connect to one of them or both of them. So here's an example of how the mechanism works step by step. So we combine this. On the left is tree A and on the right is tree B. So first is node selection. We check start from layer 1. So for this 1-1 position, both tree A and tree B has nodes, so we randomly choose one. And then for 2-1, we found that also both trees has it, so we also randomly choose one from, okay, I choose from tree B. And then for 2-2, both trees has it, so I chose from tree A. And then for 3-1, it only exists in tree 1, but it still have a chance to be not selected, so I will make it not selected, so I will keep it empty here. And then for 2-3 position, both trees have it, so I will randomly choose it from tree A. Then for 3-3, only tree B has it, so I select it from tree B. And then for 4-1 and 4-2, both tree A and tree B don't have it, so it will be empty also in tree C. For 4-3, both trees have it, so I will randomly choose from tree A. And for 4-4, also both empty, so it will also be empty in tree C. And then for layer 5, it's all empty, so it will definitely be empty in tree C. So this is the first step, node selection. And then step 2 is mutation. So after it's selected, and then I will just make this node be mutated, which is a small chance. Okay, made it mutated. So we've done with step 2. And then step 3, add bridges. So we start from layer 2, from this 2-1 node. It has one connectable and it exists in tree C. So we will 100% add a connection to it. And then we check 2-2, and it only has one connectable and exists. So we will also build this bridge. And then we check the 3-2. So it has two connectables, both exist. So we will randomly either bridge this one or both. So this time I would just bridge this one. And then for this node, it has only one connectable exist, so we must give it a bridge. And lastly, for this node, it has two connectables in the previous layer, so this time I would give it two connections just by random. Okay, so this is done. So this is the generated tree C. So after this example, to explain how the mechanism works, I would like to go into the odds for the details. For a certain position in tree C, assuming that it has connectable nodes exist in the previous layer, so we have different conditions. So first of all, if tree A and tree B both have node, then tree C has a 93% chance to have a node here. But if only one of the tree A or tree B has node, then tree C has 70% chance to have a node. If none of tree A or tree B has node, then tree C will have 0 chance to have node. So this is the odds for node selection. And then the odds for whether it's selected from A or B. So if tree C already decides to select a node, then below is the chance whether it chooses from A or B. First is if only a tree A or tree B has a node, so tree C will 100% chance to select the scale from this tree, which is trivial. And second, if both tree A and tree B has node, but they are both allocated or both unallocated, then there is a 50% chance to select either from A or B, so which is also trivial. And then if both have node, but only tree A allocated it, then there is a 70% chance to select the allocated node. And then about the odds for the mutation upgrade and downgrade. So based on my data, there is around 6.6% chance for mutation, 2.1% chance for upgrade, and 1.6% chance for downgrade. So in total, there is around 10% chance that this node will be altered. And lastly, about the odds for adding bridges. So for each selected node in tree C, we check the existence of its connectables in the previous layer. So if there is only one, then there is 100% chance to connect to it. But if there are two connectables, then there is 1 in 3 chance to only connect to connectable 1, and 1 in 3 chance for connectable 2, and then 1 in 3 chance to connect to both. So okay, so I think now I already explained how the tree combine works and what are the exact odds. And now I would like to talk about some highlights of the mechanism and some of the tips. So first highlight is that if only one of the tree A or tree B has node, then tree C has 70% chance to have node, which means that for this 3-1 node, it only exists in tree A, but not in tree B. Then it has a 70% chance that this will exist in tree C, assuming that the connectable exists in tree C. Exciting, because as long as it's larger than 50% chance, then it just makes things printable, which means that for a specific scale node that you really want, for example, the 3 divs node, you really want it, and then you can just split it into 2, and then for each split version, you transfer it into a non-split base, which has a 70% chance to succeed the transfer. After it succeeded and you split it again, so in this loop, you just make more and more copies of the same node. But of course, that it doesn't mean that we can make infinite profit by abusing this, because as GGG pointed out, it is gated by the price of the fracture, fossil, and beast. And also, we should always maximize our probability to reach the 70%. And secondly, there's a tip that for a node that you want it to stay in tree C, then you should make sure that it at least has a high probability to have at least one connectables in the previous layer. And also that you can actually easily calculate the exist chance for each position in tree C based on the shape of tree A and tree B. The third highlight of the mechanism is that for a node, if there is only one connectable exist in the tree, in tree C, then it has 100% chance to connect to it. I will explain it in an example later. And then I don't have many like universal strategy tips working for all cases, Actually, each strategy depends on the tree shape, the price of different nodes, and the price of materials, and the price of the final trees. So this video provides a theory base, but still you need to customize your strategy for your crafts. Okay, now comes to the example of how I print money with the 3 div and sell twice node and make so much money. So this will be, on the left will be my tree A, where I have the 3 div node, which is on the 4th layer. And on the right side, it is tree B, where we have the sell twice at the 5th layer. So tree A, we will use a split item. If you bought a non-split item, you can simply split it into 2. And for tree B, we should make it non-split, which means that after the combination, the merged item will be same as the tree B, which is non-split. So you can split it again and sell for double the price. Okay, and then how I select this tree A, the shape of the tree A. So you can see that first of all, it is supported by 2 connectables, which means that the 2 connectable in the previous layer all exist, which means a higher chance that in the tree C, at least one of this exists. A bad example is that if this 3 div is at the bottom, is at the 4-4 position at here, then it only has 1 connectable, which means that if for some reason, for some bad luck, you lost this node, so this node becomes empty in tree C, then even if this is chosen, but it cannot be connected, so it will also be empty anyways in tree C. So that is a bad example. So the good shape is supported by 2 connectables. So this is the first point. And the second point is for the sell twice node. And the key point is that for this node, the only connectable is this node 4-3, which is same identical to this position. So which means that in tree C, as long as the 3 divs node is selected and the sell twice is selected, then these 2 will always be connected. Because the sell twice node, it has 2 connectable candidates, but this candidate this candidate will always be empty because it is empty in both tree A and tree B, so it will be empty in tree C. So in tree C, it can only connect to the 4-3 node here. So using this strategy, for the 3 div node, it has around slightly more than 60% chance to be selected in tree C, because I allocated this node, right? So it will have a higher chance to trump this node. And then the sell twice node has around close to 70% chance to be selected, and will have 100% chance to be connected to it if it's selected. So considering all these probabilities, by expectation, for each combination, I am expected to win 2+ divines considering all the costs. That's why I made money so fast. But I'm showing this strategy doesn't mean that you can also use this strategy, because probably after this video is out, the price of these good shaped trees will increase, and the prices of the fractured fossils and beasts might also increase. And now I will just showcase my combination of this combo. So I just have an example and will quickly show you whether it succeeds or not. It's just luck.
You may use this tool to ensure your own survival and the longevity of Rayclast itself. An impressive feat for one so small. You show undeniable promise.
Okay, welcome back. So there is still something that is not explored in my analysis. So first thing is that for a certain position, if tree A has node and it's allocated, but tree B does not have node, then my question is, will tree C have higher than 70% chance to have node? So that's something I'm not sure. I don't have enough data for that. And second uncertain thing is how the duplication logic is conducted. By dedupe, I mean because in the tree C, it can never have two same node in different positions in the same tree, right? If there is a node both exist in tree A and tree B but in different positions, so one of them should be deduped. So how is this dedupe logic conducted? I don't know. And here are some final thoughts. So the motivation of this video is that with better understanding of the mechanism and odds, so we can suffer less from the tree combining process, which is really frustrating from my early tries. And also I welcome more discussion on the hypothesis of the mechanism. And also I welcome more shared data and more crafting ideas. And lastly, hope you guys enjoy crafting. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Thanks for watching.